Welcome to this explainer. Okay, if you're gearing up for your IELTS speaking exam, you are exactly where you need to be. Let's just dive right in, shall we? Today, we're going to completely transform your approach to this test. We're talking about boosting your IELTS score by fixing some incredibly common, but honestly, super easily avoidable errors. Stick with me to the end of this explainer, and I'll show you how to sidestep these traps so you can gain up to 6 marks, literally instantly, on your performance. So, it's a bit of a painful question, but I have to ask. Are you losing points before you even finish your very first sentence? It happens all the time. So many students walk into that exam room and instantly lose marks. And here's the kicker. It's not because their English is bad. Not at all. It's simply because they don't know exactly what the examiner is actually looking for. They just fall into these traps right out of the gate. All right, so here are the 3 absolute most common score-killing mistakes we see over and over. Number 1, repeating the examiner's question back to them. Number 2, just saying a flat yes or no. And number 3, jumping in with the entirely wrong verb tense. If you're doing any of these, you are leaving totally easy marks on the table. But hey, don't worry, we're going to teach you a simple, repeatable method to fix all of this. Seriously, stay with me for the exam-style example at the end. Avoiding these mistakes is literally worth 6 marks, and I'm going to show you exactly how to pull it off perfectly. Part 1, inside the 3-part format, knowing your 11 to 14-minute battlefield. Okay, so here's exactly what you're walking into. The speaking test is completely identical for both the academic and general training versions, and the whole shebang is recorded. It's going to last anywhere between 11 and 14 minutes. First up, you've got part 1, clocking in at 4 to 5 minutes. Think of this as your introduction and interview. Expect general questions on highly familiar stuff like your family, work, studies, or hobbies. Next is part 2, lasting about 3 to 4 minutes. This is your individual long turn. The examiner hands you a task card, you get 1 single minute to prepare, and then you speak for 1 to 2 minutes straight. Finally, part 3 is a 4 to 5 minute two-way discussion where the examiner asks further questions that are basically connected to whatever you just talked about in part 2. Part 2, what the examiner actually wants, unlocking the marking criteria. Now, this right here, this is a massive light bulb moment for so many test takers. Notice the contrast here. First off, you are absolutely not assessed on your personal opinions or whether your answer is factually right or wrong. Let me just repeat that real quick. There are literally no right or wrong answers in the speaking test. Now consider the other side. You are purely assessed on your ability to express your ideas and opinions in good English. The examiner, they're not judging your life choices or your personal tastes. They are just listening to the actual mechanics of your language. And honestly, this quote brilliantly illustrates how you should treat the whole exam room. The source material explicitly tells us it will help you to feel relaxed if you imagine you are talking to a friend. Because think about it. When you're stressed out, you speak way too fast, you make silly mistakes, and you mispronounce words, right? By just imagining you're catching up with a friend over coffee, you naturally drop into a much clearer, more natural speaking pace. You aren't defending a thesis here, you're just having a chat. Part 3, the step-by-step answering method, a repeatable strategy for any question. So the absolute crucial point here is that you need a system. Whenever you're asked a question in any of the 3 parts, I want you to follow this exact formula. Step 1, match the verb tense the examiner just used. Now moving to step 2, use your own words. Formulate your answer completely avoiding the exact phrasing they just gave you. And finally, step 3, expand on your answer with your own reasons and examples. Let's break these down a bit to see exactly why they earn you those high marks based on what the examiner expects. Let's zoom in on step 2 for a second. A really bad habit is repeating the exact words the examiner just used. Now, why does this lose marks? Because the examiner already knows they have good vocabulary, right? If they ask you about your favorite transportation and you start with, "My favorite transportation is," well, you haven't really shown them anything new. The good habit, the one that actually scores the marks, is using your own words. Just paraphrase. It instantly demonstrates your vocabulary range and proves your full ability to the examiner. And hey, speaking of vocabulary, here's another massive trap people fall into. A lot of students try to shoehorn these incredibly complex words into their answers just to sound smart, but then they end up using them incorrectly. Doing that will directly result in losing marks. Honestly, it is so much better to use simple, commonly used vocabulary, but use it with 100% accuracy. Now, to be fair, to get the absolute highest top-tier scores, yeah, you do need advanced vocabulary, but forced, incorrect big words, those will hurt you way more than accurate, simple words ever will. Accuracy is always, always your foundation. Remember that task card we talked about in part 2? You are given exactly 1 minute. Just 1. And you get some paper and a pencil. Please do not waste this minute just staring into space. The most strategic thing you can do during this prep time is to think about the topic, look at the questions on the card, and explicitly decide which verb tense is the most appropriate to use. Seriously, write it down on the paper if you have to. You absolutely must use the same tenses as the questions printed on the card. Just a really quick but absolutely crucial note on clarity before we get to our big example. Practice the pronunciation of numbers. Numbers can sound incredibly similar when spoken aloud, especially if you're nervous and rushing. Think about 30 versus 13, or 40 versus 14. If the examiner can't tell which one you actually said, your meaning is totally lost. And unfortunately, so are your marks. So just take a breath and speak clearly at a natural pace. Part 4, putting it into practice, earning the marks in real time. Okay, here is how you execute this flawlessly. Step 1, the question. Let's say the examiner asks, "What kind of music do you like?" Listen carefully to that. Notice the verb tense? It's in the present tense. So, step 2, the base answer. You respond in the present tense, "I like pop music best." Boom, you've instantly matched them and secured that baseline grammatical accuracy. Now for step 3, the extension. This is where you really earn those high marks. You don't just stop at a short answer. You extend it, and you change the tense to show off your range. You add something like, "I haven't always enjoyed that kind of music." Look at that. You just smoothly transitioned from the present tense to the present perfect tense. This proves to the examiner without a doubt that you can talk at length, formulate complex thoughts, and seamlessly navigate English grammar. Part 5, your final exam checklist. Review this before your test. All right, here is your ultimate cheat sheet to review on the morning of your test. First, in the lead up to the big day, record yourself practicing speaking English. Trust me, it helps. On test day, just imagine talking to a friend to relax your nerves. Speak clearly and at a natural pace to make sure your pronunciation is hitting the mark. When they ask a question, listen closely and match the verb tense. Never, ever just answer yes or no. Always expand and give reasons or examples. And finally, use your own words instead of repeating the examiner to really show off that vocabulary. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Are you ready to stop testing your opinions and start actually showcasing your English? Remember, at the end of the day, the examiner just wants to hear how well you communicate. I challenge you right now, grab a practice question and apply this exact 3-step method. Record yourself and just listen to the difference it makes. And hey, checking out more explainers on these specific exam skills is going to keep you sharp and fully ready. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and best of luck on your IELTS test. You've got this.